earthquakes hitting that it takes them a little while to assess whether this is a deadly one and they need to move quickly.
I think absolutely that Japanese people are more attuned to earthquakes. They're more used to it certainly than I was, where I grew up on the east coast of the United States, where we don't have much in the way of earthquakes. And they tend to take it in stride a little bit more. But this was larger than anyone expected. It went on for longer than anyone expected. And I think there's also a high degree of self-sufficiency among people here, especially with regards to earthquakes. Just as my wife showed, where she was cool-headed and had all of these techniques for dealing with an earthquake hitting, I'm sure that even long before an official announcement to evacuate, people who felt these sort of tremors would absolutely have some sense of what to do and begin to leave the areas. The real danger right now, I believe, is the tsunamis that are hitting. I'm looking at footage right now of Sendai Airport up north, which has been completely inundated. It's completely underwater right now. All of the runways and the buildings are filling with water from what I can see on TV. So this is a major, major, major hit to Japan's infrastructure. I haven't heard anything about what's going on with the subways or anything downtown. I know that they are prone, in some cases, to being filled with water in the event of a tsunami hitting, but I haven't seen heard any reports of that. But certainly up north and all of the coastal areas are taking a major, major hit right now.
And Matt, of course, we know, as we've discussed, that the Japanese are very used to these earthquakes. The cities are built to withstand major earthquakes. But what sort of measures are in place to deal with tsunamis on the ground there?
Well, there's actually quite a few. Most places that are tsunami prone, most of the cities have large walls that are built around them, the townships, even small, known about the threat of tsunamis for a very, very long time. And there's almost no case that I can think of where a coastal city is not behind some kind of wall or built atop some kind of abutment to bring it far higher than the level of sea level. But that's what's precisely so frightening about these photos, because the waters look to be overwhelming a lot of these measures that have been put in place. And I don't think this is any kind of statement about ill preparedness. I think it's just a testament to how powerful this earthquake was and how powerful the tsunami is. That is, it's currently hitting Japan even as we speak on the phone right now.
Indeed. I mean, this is unfolding before our very eyes, and as we talk the audience through this, and of course we're looking at these pictures now from the airport where people have gone to the highest ground they can possibly find, and of course water surrounds them at the base there, and as you mentioned, presumably that area where the water is sweeping under is a measure in place to ensure that when these tsunamis hit, the water can actually clear the area. But of course the problem is for anyone who unfortunately was on the ground at the time. Of course, Matt, we talk about...
Y queremos una vez más llevarles a ustedes imágenes impresionantes de este terremoto de 8,9 grados que ha golpeado la costa japonesa occidental. Tenemos que las imágenes que están viendo aquí todavía no podemos identificar exactamente de dónde provienen, pero vemos cómo este incendio devora esta estructura de una forma increíble. El Centro de Alerta de Tsunami del Pacífico emitió hoy una alerta de una ola gigante para Filipinas, Japón, Rusia y las Islas Marianas.
Black smoke seen billowing from the refinery, and it looks like firefighters are having an almost impossible situation to be able to control that at this time.
Provienen de una refinería de petróleo. Obviamente el fuego es totalmente incontrolable en este lugar. El terremoto fue de 8,9 grados según el Servicio Geológico de Estados Unidos. Un aviso de Japón. El terremoto, cuya magnitud se cifró al principio de 7,9 grados, obviamente fue incrementado a 8,9, prácticamente inundado. No se sabe la cantidad de víctimas que hay en este momento. Pero lo que estamos viendo en este momento son imágenes totalmente increíbles, devastadoras, de lo que ha causado esta ola en toda esta costa japonesa.
Miyagi Prefecture, in the Sendai area, where a large tsunami has engulfed farmland, homes, cars.
El sismo se produjo a unos 150 kilómetros de Sendai. Esto es en 24,4 metros de profundidad. Esto ocurre exactamente, en el área, cerca del área, en la zona donde se produjo hace una situación devastadora la que está ocurriendo en la isla de Japón. Las autoridades filipinas también respondieron a la alerta con un aviso de precaución a la población de la localidad costera situadas al este del archipiélago, aunque hasta el momento no han dado instrucciones para una evacuación. Una vez más, el Centro de Alertas de Tsunami del Pacífico emitió hoy una alerta de ola gigante para los siguientes países: Filipinas, Japón, Rusia y las Islas Marianas. También las autoridades filipinas respondieron a la alerta con un aviso de precaución a la población de las localidades costeras situadas al este del archipiélago. Tiene la cobertura de este terremoto.
Well, I've had to get a kind of recap of exactly what happened because we did lose a little bit of time, track of time that is, as to what happened around 2:40. We were at Tokyo Station. It is one of Japan's busiest train stations underground to stay calm, that there was a earthquake. And then the information started. We learned that the earthquake was offshore and that the tsunami was coming to the northeastern part of Japan. As we're getting a little more information about exactly what it was, we're learning it's a very large quake, 8.8 according to USGS. And we were last on the phone. I was on the phone with you, Rosemary, as we were talking, and I was trying to tell you about what was happening to the passengers. After people were told to stay put, eventually all the rail lines were stopped. People were get out of the underground, and we started to move up above ground. That's when we lost our cell signal. Cell signals are getting incredibly tough to get here in Tokyo. Phone lines are also very difficult. We have one phone line out of this bureau to try to reach people. It's very difficult to try to communicate. As I got from Tokyo Station to here, with no rail lines, with bus lines interrupted, it is extraordinarily difficult to get across Tokyo. You either have to walk, or if you get lucky, I got into a cab as somebody was getting out. I got into a cab and came across. Every single sidewalk is packed with people. It is about 3:30 when I was heading back toward the bureau. Everybody was pouring out of office buildings. Work is canceled for the day. Children are leaving schools. People are on the sidewalk trying to figure out how they're going to get home. People have to commute an hour sometimes back home, but they don't have any way to get there. So all the taxis are taken. It's an unusual sight to see the city of Tokyo, one of the most populous in the entire world, completely come to a halt. From what I can see, every single train line has been stopped. We're not hearing any planes in the air.